Hello and welcome to StarrCast. This is Lisa Starr with another guest for you, who's someone who has worked in spa and wellness and has really taken some interesting career turns. Because when I saw, when I met our next guest as the editor of a magazine, I never realized, where she started in the industry. And I thought we've got to get her to share her story. So let me welcome today Sara Jones, the managing director, founder, and editor of SpaMexiCaribe. She is currently based in the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, but she has traveled the world and she will share her story with us. Welcome, Sara.
Hi, Lisa. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here today and talk
Oh,
with
it's
you.
my pleasure. It's just so great to hear the stories of my friends and colleagues who have worked in spa and wellness, and everyone has taken such an interesting route to get there. I mean, so few of us are working in jobs we envisioned having when we were, you know, in our teen years, and I'm sure you're no exception.
That's definitely true. Yes,
So you grew up in England,
that's right.
and when you headed off to university, what was your intention? What did you study?
I studied psychology with nutrition, and I'm not sure I had a clear intention of what I wanted to do with that, but human behavior and motivation has always interested me, along with health, fitness, nutrition, and wellness as an
Mhm.
overall topic. And I knew that a psychology degree would be a good foundation for whatever I might want to go on to do.
Well, that's for
So
sure because we work with people in whatever capacity, and understanding their brains is awfully helpful, right?
definitely, yes.
So you finished your degree, and what happened next?
Initially, I went back to my hometown and got a job with Motorola, the phone company, just to earn some money, and very quickly realized that that was not what I wanted to be dedicating my time to. And I did want to move away and travel and do something a little bit more exciting. I
Hmm.
had actually worked at a gym and fitness center, the largest one in my area region, since I was 16.
Hmm.
So I focused on getting some fitness qualifications, and then by chance had the opportunity, a last minute opportunity came up to do a massage qualification with the same study school, and I took that as well, and from there decided that I wanted to travel, and I got a job working on cruise ships
Hmm.
and moved across to the Caribbean, where I was actually the fitness director in the gym, but during that first contract moved into the senior fitness director and then assistant spa manager um, during that first contract at sea on cruise ships. So that was
It's
definitely an interesting journey for me.
I'm always interested to hear about those cruise ship adventures because I know many people, especially in Europe, did they take that route of the cruise ships and spa and wellness. So you were based in the Caribbean. It must have been delightful for you from after English weather.
Definitely. I gravitate towards sunshine. I actually did spend 4 years as a young child growing up in Florida from the age of 2 till 6. So I think that made me accustomed to warm weather, and I wanted to get back to it as soon as possible. Um, the work on cruise ships really gave me a foundation of understanding the industry, the hard work that is necessary, um, working in a team, working with
Hmm.
people, clients from a variety of different backgrounds around the world. And I made lifelong friends and
Hmm.
found that I loved the industry, really: fitness, wellness, spa, all of it combined.
Is it tough on the ship? I mean, I don't know how you get downtime when you're out on a cruise.
You really don't get a lot of downtime, which is why young, fit, healthy people gravitate
Hmm.
towards it, because you have so much energy for anything and it's so exciting and you get to visit amazing places. But it can be very tiring and exhausting, and people who don't moderate their energy well
Hmm.
definitely get burnt out very quickly.
So at this time on the ship, Sara, was fitness a focus? I mean, it doesn't seem like that maybe has become a focal point of ships today where they have so much fitness and leisure space. What was the situation back then?
My primary job role was in the gym,
Hmm.
and fitness was the focus for me. But I really loved the operations of the spa and getting into management. And as a qualified therapist as well, I was trained to do both. So when I
Hmm.
moved into management, it was the combination of both fitness and spa and wellness and massage therapy and beauty that I enjoyed, the variety of that.
Do you think getting that training in massage is what helped you to land that next position?
Definitely. It always helps to have more qualifications and more strings to your
Mhm.
bow.
Mhm.
And that gave me a perspective for the spa industry that I wouldn't have had if I had just come from the gym and fitness side of it.
Mhm. What do you think the main difference is when you come over into the spa side? What do you think the sort of mindset a person needs to have that works in that as opposed to the other fields?
I mean, definitely fitness historically has always been very loud and
Mm,
motivating and energetic,
true.
whereas the spa and wellness side is more calm and
Quiet.
balancing
Mm,
and quiet. So I think that's a perfect reflection of who I am, because I am very much energetic and vibrant, but also I really enjoy calm, quiet, um, focusing on internal meditation and
mhm.
well-being. So it was a really nice balance that I got to use all of my skills and embrace both sides of my personality.
Both sides of the brain.
Yes.
So you're on the ships, you're managing the fitness, wellness part. Did you do that on multiple ships?
I worked across three different ships during my time over 3 years.
Mhm.
And then I felt like I was done with working on cruise ships.
Mhm.
I had the opportunity to move to New Zealand with a very good friend of mine who I actually met working on cruise ships. And I was managing the gym for the University, Victoria University of Wellington in Wellington, New Zealand. And that was a short-term traveling holiday visa, so it was just a 6 month time of my life, but it was really great to go and live in another place. It did feel very far away from England. I love
Mhm.
New Zealand, it's an amazing place, but I felt very removed, and I did want to get back into uh, Europe or the Americas when I left there.
I think New Zealand's about as far as you can get from England and still be on the planet, besides Antarctica.
Exactly.
So you spent 6 months there and then headed back towards home?
Well, I was looking for other opportunities, and I did want to get somewhere that was closer to England, not in England. And I
Mhm.
did want to get back into the spa side of things rather than just focusing on fitness, because if I had gone too far down that route, then I would have maybe lost touch with the spa and wellness side of things.
So you
And
were already conscious that you wanted to keep spa in your arsenal.
definitely. That
Uh-huh.
was definitely part of my plan. And so the next move that I made was actually to go and live and work in Dubai, where I was the assistant spa manager of Cleopatra's Spa, which
Ah,
anyone who's been in the industry for a
sure
while
knows about Cleopatra.
of it. Yes, a very iconic, expansive spa that was known for um, the professionalism,
Mhm.
the being at the on the vanguard, the forefront of innovation, and definitely the level of service. And I worked with and made friends with an amazing group of people, many of whom were amazing mentors to me and
Mhm.
taught me so much, and who I'm still friends with today. And I also had the opportunity to mentor many of the therapists and um, people, supervisors within the spa from that role. And happy to say they're also still friends as well. And it's great to hear how they've gone on to other positions within the spa industry around the world as well. So that was definitely a formative few years in my career.
When you went to Cleopatra, what it was as a manager or a therapist or both?
Assistant spa manager.
Assistant spa manager. And tell us a little bit about, for listeners who don't know, how the spa industry is different in the Middle East.
Everything is segregated, male and female. So there's a lot of rules and regulations, and all spas must be separate. Um, there, there's definitely different groups of people in the Middle East, where you
Mhm.
have a group of Emiratis,
Mhm.
the people local to the United Arab Emirates and Dubai. You've got a lot of Western expats from Europe, the Americas, and then you have a lot of Asian influences as
Mm.
well. So it's really working with people from all over the world, which takes a bit of getting used to, and understanding different communication styles, both for the staff within the team and the guests, and what communication styles work best with each group of people. I hate to generalize, but there are customs and norms that each culture of people grow up with. And once you know that and identify that, it can help definitely with communication. I know that managing a team, at one point we had a team of about 56 staff within Cleopatra's Spa, and alongside the spa manager and myself, like, there were obviously very difficult times and issues between different cultures within the team and different backgrounds and different expectations, and that was certainly challenging to manage, but definitely gave me a lot to learn, and it gave me a lot of skills to move forward with.
For sure, I think, and you were really at the beginning of that. I mean, we're talking 10 or 12 years ago, correct? So Dubai is really a crossroads today, and it's such a
Mhm.
mixture of all the, Asia, Europe, everyone meeting in the middle, but that was really just starting then, correct?
I moved there in 2005, so
Mm,
that's now,
wow.
what's that, 17 or 16 years ago. So I
Mm,
was there from 2005 to 2010. And I had a couple of other projects, both within the company that I worked for, Wafi City Pyramids organization, and then with another company afterwards, helping to expand a proposed chain of spas, or
mhm,
a set of spas. And then, of course, we got to 2009, and the financial crisis really
mm,
slowed everything down almost to a halt, and people left, right, and center were losing their jobs. And I was working in a project that came to a halt and got cancelled. So
mhm,
that was what prompted the decision to look elsewhere
mhm.
for a new role.
So what was next for you, Sarah?
I loved working in the spa industry, and I knew that was where I wanted to stay. I looked for positions both in Singapore and Hong Kong, potentially to move over to Asia,
Mhm,
and also Caribbean and Mexico. And I was really fortunate enough to interview and receive an offer to work here in Mexico for the Rosewood Mayakoba, which
mm,
Rosewood is a really amazing luxury chain of resorts, or collection of resorts,
mhm.
that brought me over to Mexico, and was just one of the most beautiful properties I had seen. And again, working with an amazing team of therapists within the spa, and allowing me to see what Mexico was like, having not visited since my time on cruise ships. And
Mhm.
I knew that the industry was poised to really explode in this region.
Well, hence the Mayakoba development. I mean, that's relatively new for people listening. It's a little bit north of Playa del Carmen and south of Cancun, and it's sort of a purpose-built enclave, if you will, with groups of hotels and water access, and it's just extremely beautiful and well done, right?
It definitely is,
It's like a
yes.
world away, its own little world.
It is, yes. And I really fell in love with Playa del Carmen as a
Mm.
city. It's a small town, and it's got a great community. And since I first moved here, I really felt like this was a place that would be home, maybe not forever. And I still
Mm.
don't use the word forever, but for the foreseeable future. And they've now been here 11 years.
Amazing. So when you went to Rosewood, was it new? Had it just opened recently?
It was about 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fairly new as a property and still making its mark. And the company itself has changed ownership since then. And there have been a lot of changes and a lot of investment in the group as a whole. So everything that I remember from my time there is very different to how it is today.
Mm.
And really excelled in their development, especially in their wellness offering around their resorts.
So you stayed at Rosewood until what drew you to your next step?
So during my time at Rosewood, I was tasked with redeveloping the menu of the spa and creating new treatments, bringing new products, a really exciting challenge and something that I was really interested in getting to grips with. And I asked the team, where is the industry magazine so we can see what's available for us here in the industry? And the response was, what do you mean? There
What
isn't
magazine?
one. So that was when the seed was planted and the light bulb went on. And I thought to myself, interesting, there isn't an industry magazine in this area that I knew and believed would be so relevant for the spa and wellness industry and the travel and tourism industry, really, with the proximity to North America. And at that moment, it hit me that that would be a really good opportunity for someone. And I didn't think right in that moment, oh, this is what I should do. But over the coming months of the just under a year that I spent with Rosewood Mayakoba, I found it difficult to work there. I was in this amazing, beautiful location, and I felt so fortunate to be there. And the corporate spa team was so supportive and amazing. But it was in a recession, and I was not given the freedom to really make any decisions or change anything in the spa. And I found that really difficult, and I felt like I was stifled in my creativity and ability to really make changes around the spa and do anything meaningful. So I decided that although it was an amazing company and amazing potential for the future of that resort, that it was time for me to take a bit of a leap of faith and jump 2 feet into a new project. So having never worked in publishing before.
Or journalism at all.
No, that either. But with a degree in psychology and having always done very well in all my subjects at school, but definitely English and writing, and business really is what interested me more than anything. It wasn't just the writing side of it, but being a part of the industry and helping it to move forward in this amazing country with so much to offer. I decided that I would put a business plan together and invest basically everything I had, all my savings, into starting a new company. And at the time, it was called Spa Professional Mexico, and it was just for Mexico. And I launched the magazine in print and online. And then within a year, I took it online. It had made its impact in the industry, but it wasn't feasible as a business to continue printing and distributing. And as everything was starting to move online, it was the right time to take it online, which then allowed me the ability to expand into the Caribbean and Latin America. And through some strategic alliances, I was able to expand the reach of the magazine into Caribbean and Latin America. And then Spa and Wellness MexiCaribe, as it is known today, became the brand. And over the last years, it's definitely flourished and has increased in readership. And I'm just very, very thankful and proud that it has become a relevant part of the industry in this region, and hopefully has played a part in moving this this region forward in the spa and wellness industry worldwide.
Well, for sure, it's a wonderful product, and you are a great writer, and you're right on all the trends and topics. It's a good read. And really, it is a part of the world that's rife with spas, right? I mean, between just the Mexico and the Cancun area, let alone the greater Caribbean and Latin America. But I just have to go back to starting a magazine. I mean, where do you begin? Like, how do you assemble the people, and how did you figure all of that out, Sara?
I researched a lot. I spent all of my free time looking at articles on business planning, on launching a magazine, on even the design and layout, on websites, everything that is involved. I did hire certain companies to help me with the website, of course, and a design company to help with the production of the magazine. It was definitely a very, very challenging time. And I invested a lot of it, time, energy, money, of course. And there were definitely mistakes along the way, but they taught me the lessons I needed to know. And I continued to learn as much as I could about the industry as I moved forward in it. And it was so well received. I was so grateful to know that it was well received by the industry, that even a few years in, when the business itself was not doing financially very well, something inside me kept me moving forward, and knowing that there was a reason that I was doing this, and that it would succeed eventually if I kept moving forward with it. And I did. And now I'm very happy to say that it is a product that I'm very proud of, that it is well received, that people look to for ideas, information, inspiration, and that the Latin American community specifically are able to read in their own language, in Spanish, about everything that's happening in the industry, which is really important.
Well, that's the other point I wanted to make. I mean, this part of the world predominantly speaks Spanish, which is not your native language.
It's
And
not.
did you go to the Caribbean with some knowledge of Spanish or from your time on the cruise ships?
I started to learn Spanish from a podcast about 3 weeks before heading over to Mexico.
Oh
So I
boy.
landed and did not know any Spanish. Languages do not come easily to me, which is a shame, because some people pick them up so quickly. It's not the way my brain naturally works, and I still struggle to this day with Spanish sometimes. But I am now able to hold conversations, give presentations in Spanish, do webinars, and things in Spanish, and present in Spanish. And it is a constant learning curve, and something that I'm always motivated to progress. I now read books in Spanish, listen to podcasts in Spanish, and focus on that as much as I can to continue learning. It is not as fluent as I would love it to be, but I live in a place that is full of tourism, and pretty much everyone you come into contact with will also speak English. So it is not, I'm not fully immersed in the Spanish language by any means. I know there are places around Latin America and Mexico where that would be more easy to have the immersion experience, but Playa del Carmen is not one of them, unfortunately. So it takes a lot of effort.
Well, I'm just so impressed about that. I mean, when I learned that you moved there and started started a magazine in a language you weren't native to, I was just like, who is this person? I have to get to know her. And so now you look back on what you've learned from the magazine. How many years has it been now that it's been up and running?
10 years.
10-year anniversary. What do you wish you had known when you set out to begin the magazine?
Oh, so many things. If I things that were a learning curve that I needed to learn in the way that I learned them. Sure, I would have saved time, energy, and money if I had known everything then that I knew now, but it was a journey and a process that I think needed to happen the way that it happened. The one thing that possibly could have made things easier, which is something very close to my heart, which would have been having a support network around me. When you go from being in a company to starting a business on your own, you don't always have that. And as a young female in Mexico starting a business, there were a lot of challenges. And one of the reasons I actually started the Global Wellness Institute initiative for women in leadership 4 years ago was to provide other young female professionals and entrepreneurs a network of support. If I had had that at the time, I think that it would have definitely helped me emotionally, mentally, and I'm pretty resilient as a person anyway, but it would definitely have helped me to have just other professional entrepreneurial women to bounce ideas off, to motivate me when I felt at a loss, or when I needed some encouragement or words of wisdom or some advice. And I didn't have that in those first years. So I think that that would have made a big difference. And I hope that going forward, now with there's so many women's networks and mentorship programs, that I hope that any young female starting a business or in a profession can find someone to play that role for them, or a group of women to support them, so that they have that support. It makes all the
That
difference.
that makes a lot of sense, Sarah. When you look back, there wasn't those networks. And, you know, I applaud your struggles, but today there are many opportunities for mentorship in all sorts of ways. And so kudos to you for starting that initiative. Um, The initiatives for listeners are parts of the Global Wellness Institute, and there are 32 initiatives currently. The one Sara mentions is one of those 32. But it's really wonderful to have women in whatever field, right, to have somewhere
Mm-hmm.
to turn to. You have how many people on your task force?
There is 11 of us now, and I
Mm-hmm.
actually just finished my 4-year term as the initiative chair. So I'm now the vice chair, and Julie Keller has now taken over as our chairperson of the initiative. Another woman who is very passionate about women supporting women and women in the wellness industry, as you know.
Of course, and funny, someone also from the magazine side as well,
Yes.
in her former life. So, what's next for Spa and Wellness Mexico Caribe, and for you, Sara?
For Spa and Wellness MexiCaribe, really, this last year has been very, very challenging, as I'm sure we all know. So we've really been focusing on keeping the communication going with the industry. When the pandemic hit a year ago, we started doing webinars and offered all of our advertisers a webinar for free. And now that's
Mm-hmm.
something we're able to monetize. But really just to help the communication grow and
Mm-hmm.
strengthen in places where the industry is still very new. So countries in Latin America, South America, the Caribbean, where the industry is just really a lot newer and less established than it is
Mm-hmm.
here in Mexico. So to really help those industries flourish a little bit more, to continue creating alliances across the region and worldwide. And then really, for what I see for the industry, the pandemic really gave us a bit of a chance to open our eyes to the fact that work does not need to be in an office
Mm,
sitting next to all of your
very true.
co-workers in a cubicle, or in in a big city. And now that more people have so much freedom to work remotely, I think that the spa and wellness industry across this region, specifically Mexico, Caribbean, Latin America, can really capitalize on offering long stay retreats or wellness sabbaticals, which has
Mm-hmm.
been a trend, but offering people a place to live and work remotely for an extended period of time.
Mm,
I think that we're going to see a lot more of that. Mexico, especially, is perfectly positioned for North Americans to come and
mm-hmm.
spend time on the same time zone with
Mm-hmm.
good infrastructure of internet and facilities and access to airports to get anywhere they would need to within a matter of hours, just like you could from within the US.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if we can really offer that to people that are looking for it, I think that this region could really benefit from so much more
Mm.
investment and income from those travelers that are looking for an extended stay, but also need wellness to become part of that, as we all do in our lives.
Mm-hmm. Well, beautiful weather, great food,
Mm-hmm.
friendly people. It is a wonderful part of the world that you've settled in. Is there anything that you miss about living in England?
There are many things. Friends, family, and certain food, of course,
Mm-hmm.
I do miss. And I try to get back to England every year to see friends and family and enjoy the time. I love England, especially in the summertime. It's
Mm-hmm.
such a beautiful country, and um, I will continue to always visit as much as I can. Last year I was not able to, but I am hoping to this year. And now with travel being easier, I hope that more people that are close to me from around the world can come and visit me in Mexico as well.
Mm-hmm. Are there spa associations in any of the Latin American countries?
There are associations and there are events in various different countries, and I've made partnerships and with a variety of those to
Mm-hmm.
help grow the reach of the magazine and to help extend the communication and strengthen the network of communication amongst the industry, from everyone studying and starting off in the industry in their holistic therapy schools
Mm-hmm.
to industry veterans um, managing and directing spas or corporate groups of spas. So there are certain associations. There's not one overall for the
Mm-hmm.
area, but there are a variety of them.
Well, that's a good way to liaise too. And I'm hoping that perhaps listeners in Latin American or Caribbean countries will reach out to whatever association they can. And of course, to read Spa and Wellness MexiCaribe. In the meantime, Sara, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your wisdom and inspiration. I should say Sara is also has a consulting company, Era Spa. Would you like to speak to what you do with them?
So, as someone with an extensive background in the spa and wellness industry, but also from my experience with the magazine, getting to see so many spas across so many different countries, I think it kind of gives me a unique viewpoint when helping any spa and wellness companies develop their proposal, their offering for
Mm.
spa and wellness. So, through our spa consulting, I actually do a variety of different consulting projects, whether it's developing a spa or helping an existing spa streamline their operation, or recruitment assistance. And that can be remote, it can be based in
Mhm.
Mexico, here close to where I am on the Riviera Maya, or it could involve travel now that we're able to travel again a little bit more
Yes,
freely.
a little bit more. I know plenty of people from the US are heading to Mexico in the coming weeks. Very much so. Well,
Excellent.
thank you again for joining us, Sara Jones, Spa and Wellness MexiCaribe, and Era Spa Consulting, and whatever else is beyond. I'm looking forward to having our paths cross again soon.
Thank you so much, Lisa. It was really fun to talk with you.
Thank you. You too. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Bye.